Hey y'all, come on in here. As you guys are coming in, comment in the chat how much you want to make this year. Comment how much you want to make this year, 2024. What's the number? Comment how much are we making this year? How much are y'all making? Go ahead and claim it. All right, I see 1 million, yes. 200K, yes. 500K, hey. I see 250, 200K plus, 100K. Okay, we got a lot of people want to enter the 6-figure club. I'm going to give you guys the best piece of advice that was given to me. And that is whatever number comes to mind, you have to double it. Because what will happen is if you aim for that number of 100K, right? With your effort, you may end up landing at 75K. But if you aim for double that number of 100K, such as 200K or more, you know you are going to end up either at 200K or just below 200K. And so I say that to say, sometimes the first number we think of is what we believe is possible, right? So we believe, well, I don't want to say 1 million or 2 million because I don't really know if that's possible for myself. But in reality, it's possible for you if you decide it's possible for you. So every time I feel and I set myself a comfortable goal, I have to say, you know what? This is probably comfortable. So let me go ahead and double it. Because now when you double it, right? So those of you who said you want to make 100K, well, I want you to double it and I want you to go for 200K. Those of you who said you want to make 250, well, I want you to double it and I want you to go for 500K. Because now you know that you're aiming at a much higher target. So that first target that you had of 200K or 250 or 100K, you're definitely going to get it because you're aiming higher. I want you guys to comment in the chat, aim higher. Exactly. Comment aim higher in the chat. So that's what you always have to push yourself to realize, is that sometimes we only believe in a limited version of ourselves. Sometimes we only believe that we can do what we think is possible for us to do because we are considering our past, right? In the past, we haven't hit 100K or 200K or $1 million. So because we're thinking about what we've done previously or what we've seen other people do, we're creating goals based on that limited belief. But I need you to understand that there's so much more possible for you, and you actually have to push beyond that limitation to go to a place where you haven't been. Because if 100K ends up becoming your only goal, then guess what? That becomes your ceiling. And let me tell you this, once you hit 100K, you're going to want to make more. So go ahead and start higher from the beginning. Go ahead and start with almost an insane number. So the piece of advice I shared with you guys is to always double your goals. The second thing that really motivated me, and I don't remember who told me this or if I heard it somewhere or if I read it somewhere, but I have always, or since the last 3 years, really lived by the belief that your goals should make you uncomfortable. They should almost feel impossible. Like you should set a goal that feels like I don't know how I'm gonna do this. This is actually scary to even think about. They need to scare you a little bit. And so for some of you, maybe getting to that first 100K is a little bit scary, but setting a goal of 1 million, or 500K is probably way scarier. And that's the kind of uncomfortable place you want to be in. That's the kind of relationship you want to have with your goals, where they're so big that you are almost at a loss at the moment for how you're going to get there. Because when you're in that space of not necessarily knowing how you're going to achieve something so great, that's when your creativity comes out. That's when God can really operate in your life and really move some things around for you. Because yes, let's follow this, right? When you think you have the plan, right? When you think you have the plan, when you think you know exactly how you're going to do something, it ends up actually not working out that way. And I tell you guys this all the time. God is the best planner. So you think you're planning to get to wherever you want to go. And God is like, okay, I'm just watching what you think you're going to do. Because at the end of the day, God is the one who is going to organize your steps and put you in position for where you need to go and what you need to be doing. So you need to be setting goals, and you need to be having dreams and ideas where you almost don't have a plan to get there. Because that's when you allow God to come through, right? That's when you say, you know what? I'm just going to show up. I'm going to do the work, and whatever is going to come next, that's what's going to come next. That's when you start to see change in your life. But when you always think that you're the best planner, when you always think that things are going to go according to what you are saying, when you always think that your idea is what's going to get you to that 100K, a lot of the time that's not it. And then this is why when our plan doesn't work, right? How many of you guys have gotten discouraged because your plan didn't work? I know I have, right? When your plan doesn't work, then you're like, well, damn, what am I supposed to do? Because we're more attached to the plan and doing it the way we thought we were supposed to do it than actually just being open and getting to the outcome. At this point in my life, if I got to make a U-turn, 3 left turns, a right turn, go up a hill and through a valley to get to my destination, I'll take it. It's no longer about things going my way. It's about things going the way to get me to where I need to go. And that's what you have to be open to. It's not going to be cute. It's not going to make sense. Sometimes you're going to feel like you're going in reverse. You've got to turn around and head the other direction. But as long as you get to where you're going and you have faith that you are getting to where you're going, that's all that matters. That's all that matters. And so a couple things that really help on the way, right? When we think about making more money this year, you know, it comes down to what you sell. It comes down to your strategy. It comes down to your marketing. But more than that, y'all, beyond any of that, it really comes down to your time management and your routine. And y'all know this is More Money Monday, so I got to speak some life into you, okay? And I also got to give you a dose of reality. So many of us are held captive by the lack of consistency in our routine. So many of us are not making the money we could be making by the fact that our time is running us and we are not running our time. I need you guys to comment, own my time. Because, you know, listen, we all want to make money, right? We all want to make money. But every day, as I see my children grow, and when I look back in my phone at pictures of them 2 years ago, I realize what's most valuable is the time. Because, you know, okay, I spent, $30 today. You know, I can go make $30 again. But this day, January 27th, I don't even know what day it is. Today is the 30th. The 29th. January 29th, 2024. This day, this time, I can't go make that back. The $30 or the $100 or the $1,000 or whatever it is that you spend, this doesn't mean that you are, you should be irresponsible with your money. But I want you guys to understand something. You can always make more money, right? You can always do better. You can always make different choices with your money. You can always sell something and make more money. You can always work overtime and make more money. But if you are not wisely, babe, can you bring me some water? Okay. Thank you. If you are not wisely managing your time, this is why I say a lot of us are being run by our time and we are not running our time. We are being owned by our time and we are not owning our time. And time is something that we're not going to get back. And you need time in order to make more money. But you don't need more money in order to get more time, because you can't get it back. The only thing you can do is use your time wisely to make more money so that you can spend your time doing the things that you want to do. Do y'all understand the relationship between money and time? You need time to make more money, but all money can do is help you spend your time wisely. No matter what, that time is going. So we have to use it in a way that makes sense. If you feel like you've been stuck in a rut and you are not seeing your account grow to where you want it to grow, you're not seeing your business grow to where you want it to grow, you're just not seeing yourself, you're even, your development, your relationships grow to the place that you want them to grow. The first thing to look at is your time management and your routine. I gotta ask y'all a question. How many of y'all, comment yes or no in the chat, how many of y'all will be on TikTok or Instagram, whatever's your favorite social media platform, and you look up, you went on, you started scrolling, and you look up, it's been an hour and a half. You started scrolling at 10 p.m. It's 11:30. Comment yes or no in the chat if this is happening to you. Me too. Let me raise my hand. Because I'll just be like, I'll just take a little break. I'm just going to scroll a little bit. I'm just, tired. Let me just take a little break. It's been 2 hours. It's been 2 hours. So I stopped giving myself the ability or the excuse to say, I don't have time. I stopped giving myself the ability to say that. And I would encourage you to stop giving yourself the ability to say that too, because guess what? You do have time. You have the time. And it's a hard pill to swallow. But we have the time. We are just not choosing to use our time in that way. So that 2 hours of scrolling, and look, sometimes you need to decompress. I get it, right? Sometimes we just want to scroll and not think about anything. But let's really think about that 2 hours of time that we utilize to scroll, right? The creators whose video we watched probably made some money from our views. The product that we're currently trying to sell in our store or in our business, or the idea that you're trying to bring to life in your own business, got ignored for 2 hours, right? So your potential to grow your income or grow your business or grow yourself or get in touch with your kids or your partner or God, right, was taken by that 2 hours. So how many of us say things like, I don't have time to work on my business. I don't have time to create content. I don't have time to go live. I don't have time to call these companies. I don't have time to fix my credit. I don't have time to do these things because of all the others. But I want you to go through your day and really track, where are you using your time? How much time went to that Netflix show? How much time went to a phone call? How much time went to TikTok? How much time went to the shade room? I don't follow them, but if you do, how much time went over there? Right? And so when you document this, you've got an extra 3 or 4 hours in your day that you can be using towards your own advancement, towards your bank account's growth, towards your business's development, that we are using on other things. Why? Because it's a little bit easier to scroll than it is to sit down and say, you know what? Let me put some effort into myself. Let me put some effort into this business. Because guess what? Scrolling is comfortable. It's familiar. It's easy. But sitting down and focusing on your business, making content, developing a strategy, putting yourself out there, if you're going to go live or whatever the case is, guess what? That's hard. That's uncomfortable. We don't really like that. It's a lot easier to just lay in the bed and watch something on Netflix and say, okay, I'll try again tomorrow. Right? It's a lot easier for us to just say, you know what? I'll just try again tomorrow. And then what do we do again? We say, I'll just try again tomorrow. I'll just try again tomorrow. I'll just try again tomorrow. And child, before we know it, it's a new year. We can't afford this, right? And so this isn't to say that you should never have time where you're not working, but let's be very mindful of what we're using our time to do and who, right, we're giving our time to. So if you are going to be listening to something or watching something, is it teaching you something? Is it encouraging you? Is it inspiring you? Is it bringing you closer to your goals? Is it going to help you with your business? Is it going to help you make some changes in your life? Because that's positive time. Negative time is when we are focusing our time and our energy on something that isn't really adding any value to our life. That becomes negative time. But positive time is giving. Negative time is taking away. So something that really helps when we think about making more money, right? You need time to make more money. You need to be able to use your time wisely to make more money. So all of you guys in here should be doing or using time blocking. Okay, now I don't know if you've ever heard me talk about this before, but it's something I've been doing for the last couple of years. And what time blocking basically is, there's apps for time blocking, but you don't need an app, right? What you're going to do in your phone, in your calendar. Oh, we got to talk about time limits too. But in your phone, in your calendar, give yourself time limits to do certain things. So for example, I give myself time to scroll, and that's a 30-minute time block. Give yourself an hour time block to work on some element from your job, your business, whatever. Another 30 minutes for meditation. An hour time block for content creation. And so the way that you just set these up is in your calendar. So each time that your time block elapses, you switch to another subject, right? You switch to another topic. So if you've set aside 1 hour for content creation, when that hour is done, whatever is next on your time blocking schedule is the next thing that you do. So this is how you can take 5 hours of time or 3 hours of time, however much you have, and instead of just kind of aimlessly trying to go down a to-do list, right? Sometimes we have a to-do list and we sit down and we say, okay, I'm going to get all these things done. But if it's not structured and organized to where you're spending a certain amount of time on each particular topic, what ends up happening? We start with one thing, then we look at our phone, then we go to the next thing on the list, then we get distracted by something else, then we try to get to the next thing on the list, then we're tired. So when you time block, now you have given each assignment its own time frame. And you respect that time frame. When that time frame is done, you move on to the next assignment, unless you need to adjust something in your schedule for the day. Another thing that y'all need to install on your phone right now, and I know you're not going to like me for this, but please put some time limits on your phone. It changed my life. Let me see if I can find how to do it. Okay, yes, screen time. Time limits, y'all. Time limits. When I saw that my screen time, it tells you your screen time on an iPhone. When I saw that my screen time was 13 hours, 14 hours, I knew there was a problem. I'm like, I'm going to be blind by the time I'm 41 if I have 13 hours of screen time. And you guys know I spend a lot of my time on social media for my business, right? And so out of my 13 hours of screen time, it was like 9 hours on social media. Insane. Like an insane amount. Because how? I don't know. How? And that's when I set up time limits, because I said, you know what? Even though I'm getting things done, right? Even though I'm productive, how much more productive could I be if I shave this time down? So every single app has a limit. I can only have my social media open for 2 hours a day before it locks me out. Netflix and entertainment is 1 hour and 30 minutes a day before it locks me out. My screen time now on a daily basis, let's go look, is about 4 to 5 hours a day. Look, 4 hours and 47 minutes. So we went from 13 hours of screen time down to 4 hours and 47 minutes on average per day. So all the other time when I'm not on a screen, now I'm doing other things in my business. I'm working on something, or I'm with the kids, or I'm working on myself, or I'm trying to, balance and be more organized. And so the crazy thing is, right, it's almost like I gained 8 hours. We all have the same 24 hours in a day, right? We all have the same amount of time. But we have to you have to really take inventory of where are you using your time. Because if you borrow 30 minutes from the time you spend on TikTok, the time you spend on Netflix, the time you spend on Instagram, and the time you spend on whatever is your other favorite site, that's about 2 hours that you just got back to be able to do something else that you've been saying you don't have time to do. Now, another thing I got to get on y'all about a little bit is routines. How many of you all feel like you have a morning routine or a night routine? Comment yes or no in the chat. Comment yes or no in the chat if you feel like you have a morning routine or a night routine. These two phones are synced. So if it says 4 hours and 47 minutes, that's what it's going to say on this phone too, because they have the same iCloud. Comment, yes or no if you have a morning routine or a night routine. And I feel like, this is not to be cliche, because a routine is not all of a sudden what's going to make you a millionaire. But I will definitely say, y'all, that, your routine is your right to success, right? It is your agreement with success, essentially. It is your commitment that you are going to discipline yourself to stay in line with a certain set of tasks so that you have success. And you have to think about it as, I'm trying to think, we unconsciously see people's routines all the time, right? We unconsciously have routines. Going to work, right, is a routine. Going to school is a routine. If you're a teacher or if you manage a set of people at your job, you have a routine. And without that routine, you're not able to go and do the things that you need to do, right? So we have to think about that morning and that evening routine as a commitment to your success. It all ties back into this time management piece. What I really find is helpful with a routine, and I every day have to fight to keep mine, okay? Because listen, y'all, I will tell you, going from, being married, then divorce, moving back to my mom's house, starting my business, and then it was just me and my kids from 2022 to 2023, basically. I got married at the end of 2022. So it was just us. Listen, I will be honest with y'all. Getting married and then living together with your person, I need a whole new routine. It is different. It is different. Your routine is going to change for whatever phase of your life that you're in. And so you have to look at, if it's a challenge for you to keep a routine right now, you've got to make sure that the routine you're trying to create is in alignment with the life you're currently living. In the mornings, it's not just me anymore that's doing her morning routine. I'm not alone in my bathroom. I love my husband, but they're okay. All right, you're in here too. When I want to meditate in the morning, he might get up and be on his phone. So I got to hear, chatter, chatter, chatter from a device. Okay, well, there goes my meditation. It's just all an adjustment. But irregardless, you have to have a routine, because that is essentially your discipline and your agreement with yourself and with success that you want to show up well today. That you want to show up well today. So when I can get up in the morning and commit to doing the same set of 3 to 4 things, which for me looks like prayer is a part of my morning routine always. I try to always write in my journal what I'm grateful for. I try to stretch and meditate for like 15 minutes at least, if the chitter chatter from my husband's phone is not too loud. And then I'm trying to think, the 4th thing, usually it's to read my vision wall. So you guys know I have a big vision board with all my goals written out. It's on my wall. That's usually the 4th part of my routine. Nothing too crazy, right? Just something core that gets me going for the day. You have to think about it as this. If you can commit to a routine and doing the same 4 or 5 things every morning for a set period of time, you are showing yourself that you have the commitment, the discipline, and the consistency to also do the same thing in your business over and over and over again, even if it doesn't seem like you're getting a result right away, right? Having a morning routine doesn't mean that all of a sudden that day, you walk outside and, people are just throwing money at you, right? Having a routine doesn't always cause immediate success, right? But it's the constant stacking of that habit that contributes to success. And it's the same thing whenever you are working towards the goal, right? Just like what we talked about at the beginning. Whenever you are working towards your goal, you have to do sometimes the same thing over and over and over and over again until it finally starts to work. So if you can have the commitment to do your routine every day in the morning, then it's also preparing you to have the commitment to do the same thing every day, maybe all day, until you get to where you want to go. That's why routines are important. It's about showing yourself that you are in control, right? It's about showing yourself and ultimately showing God that you can stick to what you say you're going to do. I remember when I was a little girl, my dad used to get up every morning and do like 100 squats, something insane. Like every morning, 100 squats, a set of push-ups, like all these different stretches and exercises. And I mean, I'm talking every day for years. Like I don't think he missed a day until, when my parents divorced and I couldn't see him. I don't know, but I don't really think my dad missed a day of that until he was like 15 or 16. And my dad is not a millionaire by any means, but my dad is an extremely disciplined person. Everything which he has set his mind to do, he has done. And I believe it is because of that routine, right? When you have a routine, it builds your character. And I tell you guys this all the time. We want $1 million accounts. We want $5 million accounts. We want $20 million accounts, whatever your goal number is. But those accounts require a certain character. $5 million requires you to have a certain set of characteristics in which $5 million will want to come and be in your bank account. Like, are y'all picking up what I'm putting down? And don't even think about people who are mean or bad and have money. Because yes, there are people out in the world who do awful things and they have money. But one thing that we can see in common with everyone who has money, who has been able to pull themselves up and change their financial situation, whether they're doing good or bad things, is discipline. Is discipline. And is a relentless commitment to doing the same thing until you have a result. Say what you want. Whether it's a mob person, a drug dealer, or, a content creator, right? Whatever side of the spectrum, good or bad, morally abhorrent or morally upheld, whatever side of the spectrum, you know what those people have in common? Discipline. And doing the same thing until there is a result. So that's what we want to pull out. You making more money this year, yes, it's going to come down to things like strategy, your product, and etc., right? But what we're talking about today, you making more money this year, is going to come down to how you are owning your time and how relentless you are with your routine. I want you guys to comment the word relentless. And, I want to share this with you, and you may not agree with me on this, but sometimes, my husband and I both are Muslim, and y'all know I have a lot of faith, right? And so my husband will sometimes say, those who have money, that's because God blessed them with that, right? That's because that was God's decision for their life. And I don't agree with that. You know why? Because I believe that our God is a just God. And I don't think that those people who are millionaires and billionaires off the backs of exploitation or murder or, trafficking, right? I don't think that has anything to do with God. I truly believe that those people, right? People who still manage to make money is just an energy, right? Money is just the materialization that we have decided on in this life, right? That's all money is, okay? It has nothing, I don't believe that it has anything to do with God necessarily blessing someone, because I don't believe that God is blessing human traffickers. I'm not gonna say that a human trafficker is wealthy because God has blessed them with wealth. I'm not gonna say that, right? They have decided to make certain decisions and take part in certain actions that result in people spending money, and that is why they have money. So what I want you to realize is that there are so many different ways that you can build wealth. There are so many different ways that you can build success. And whether we go on the good or the bad side, which I know y'all are going to go on the good side, but there are certain core principles that will get you to success, right? And that is discipline, that is consistency, that is persistence, that is continuing to believe, that is continuing to stay focused, have tunnel vision. We can say that all those people have that. Now, what helps you to be enlightened and to stay at success, right? And to be able to feel fulfilled is to do the right thing, because that is what God aligns you with, right? When you are asking God for your help, for his help, in order to get to a certain goal, God is going to step in, but not if it is something that doesn't serve you or doesn't serve other people. Y'all know what I'm saying? So, I just don't want us to feel like if we don't have something, it's because God hasn't blessed us with it yet. Because there are those who have money and God had nothing to do with that. God had nothing to do with that. So don't feel like you're not where you need to be because God is saying no to you. Sometimes God is ready to help align your steps for you to get there. You just need to adapt certain characteristics that we see in the Bible, that we see in the Quran, that we see in almost every religion, which are what? Discipline, action, consistency, persistence, focus, right? And again, whether we're looking at a drug dealer or a pastor, both of them have those characteristics. Both of them have those characteristics. So that's what I want you to focus on. Have the characteristics that align with success and money. And God is going to be on your side as you are doing the right thing. But it's too, sometimes it can be too easy for us to say, oh, this person has such and such because God blessed them with that. And God is like, don't put me in it. I don't have nothing to do with this type of behavior. Why are y'all putting this on me? Why are y'all putting this on me? Remember, God created abundance for all of us. We are the ones who created money, capitalism, rich, poor, right? We are the ones who created someone not having enough and someone having more than enough. That was a us thing. That was not a God thing. God never made it so that one person had to be starving while another person has enough money to feed the world 3 times over. We did that. Remember, your natural place is abundance. So that's where you have to keep your mind and keep your characteristics aligned with abundance and having and wealth and growing, because all you're doing is essentially returning yourself to where you're naturally supposed to be. Are y'all really picking up what I'm putting down? Right. God is like, y'all, my name is Bennett and I ain't in it. Okay. My name is Bennett and I ain't in it. I didn't have nothing to do with them bad people. They're going to see me one day. And I'm going to ask them, so why were you acting like that and doing that just for money? So before you guys go and think that you haven't been blessed with X, Y, and Z because it's not your time, remember, God doesn't not want you to win. God doesn't not want you to win. But God could be waiting for you to believe in your own potential and to put action and persistence and consistency and discipline behind your own actions before he helps to line you up with the wealth that you want. Because if you get introduced to $5 million, but you don't yet have the discipline to keep your budget straight, you don't yet have the consistency to wake up every day on time and do what you have to do, you don't yet have the discipline to pay your bills. I mean, let's face it, we've all seen a bill and been like, I'm going to go to the mall instead, right? So if you have these things happening, these characteristics happening, you don't yet have the time management to get off of TikTok or social media and go do something else, Well, maybe God is going to think, okay, I know that this person is praying and asking for more abundance and wealth in their lives, but their actions are not yet in alignment with someone who can manage that much abundance and wealth. Let's make sure we've got our routine down. Let's make sure we've got our time management down. And those things really just come down to gratitude, right? When I think about the fact that my kids will only get older, they will not go back in time. When I think about the fact that I'm expecting right now, and, every single day is a day towards this baby being delivered, God willing, I think about me having proper time management is me being grateful for the 24 hours that I am given, knowing that they're not going to come back again. It's 1:00 in the morning right now. And I was like, dang, I really don't know if I want to go live. But if I didn't, what would I have spent this 30 minutes or 45 minutes doing? I probably would have got on my phone. I probably would have sat down and watched something, on YouTube. Who knows? I probably would have made myself a snack. Right? And so we have to really think about, if I know this is my last 24 hours today, right? And we're not thinking morbidly, okay? But if you think of every day as your last 24 hours, you will have a much different relationship with what you want to get done that day. You will have a bigger sense of urgency for what you want to get done that day. And that's how we've got to be thinking. That's how we've got to be operating. Y'all know I'm living in Senegal. And one thing that I definitely notice, because I'm living in what is a third world country, even though Senegal is very beautiful, it's still a developing nation. Every time I go outside, every time I look out the window, people who are in a much worse predicament are struggling, right? They don't have the money to make ends meet. But guess what? Guess what I don't see them doing? I don't see them scrolling on TikTok. They're out, they're selling something, they're offering to wash your car, they're offering to, help you park, take your groceries to the car, child, something to make some money. They are making an effort. They are doing something with their time, with their day, to try to get a little bit further. So us who have, a much better situation than those living here in Africa, right, in Senegal, those of us who have a much better situation where we don't have to stand on the road to offer to wash someone's car or to offer to take someone's groceries or to sell them oranges or water on a hot day, right, in order to make money. Those of us who have options, if we are not using our time in the same way that they are using our time, are we really being as grateful as we could be? Do we really want it as bad as we say we do? And what did I tell y'all last week? Last Monday, I told you guys, I said, the question I really want you to ask yourself this month, this year, who would you really be if you put your foot on the gas? Who would you really be if you put your foot on the gas and didn't let up? What would the next 6 months look like if you really went all gas, no brakes? I want y'all to comment all gas, no brakes in the chat. Comment that in the chat. Comment all gas, no brakes. Like, who would you... Because I'm looking at y'all like... If you really went all gas, I'm talking working on a business every day, creating your content, going live, believing in yourself, like looking in the mirror, knowing you got this, it's yours, you're gonna have it, God willing, you're on the way. Just speaking life into yourself every day, all gas, no brakes. It's over. These next 6 months, and you know that. I know you know that. I know you feel what I'm telling you right now. Because you know that you've been holding yourself. You know you've been putting your foot on the brake. You know it. You know that if you really went all gas, like no days off, like locked in, just right here, you know what would happen. You know. You know. But maybe you don't want to make the sacrifice right now. Maybe it feels a little scary. Maybe you know that if you went all gas, you would end up zooming past some people that are in your life right now. And maybe you don't want to leave them behind. Maybe it's uncomfortable to go all gas because the people around you aren't going all gas. But let me tell you something right now. You cannot slow yourself down to try to keep up with those around you if they are not interested in moving forward. You cannot tie yourself to those next to you who are comfortable keeping their foot on the brake. You cannot tie yourself to that energy because that's where you will stay. It'll be 2025 and I'll be on live telling somebody else, some new follower, to go all gas, no brakes. And you'll be here thinking, wow, I think she told me this last year. But I didn't want to leave my friends behind, or I didn't want to leave my relationship behind. I didn't want to leave my man behind. I didn't want to leave my job behind. I didn't want to leave my habits behind. I struck a nerve, huh? Some of y'all don't want to leave that man or that woman. Okay. Some of y'all don't want to leave that man or that woman. Some of y'all don't want to leave that friend. Some of y'all don't want to leave those habits. Some of y'all don't want to leave them behind. Because you think, oh, well, you know, I'ma just do what they're doing, or we're good here. Some of y'all are ignoring what you know you can do if you go all gas, no brakes, because you know that the person in your life, partner, boyfriend, husband, wife, whatever, is not ready to go the same speed. And so you would rather make yourself slow down, make yourself stay in the same place in order to make them comfortable. But let me remind you of something. You were born alone. You will die alone. You came into this world as one human. You will leave this world in one grave. So you want to tie yourself to this person, those habits, those friends, that man, that woman. And at the end of the day, when you walk out the door of this life, it's just gonna be you. Or when that person decides that they want to put their foot on the gas or that they want to go over here, guess what they're gonna do? They're gonna go. Okay. So, sometimes the best thing you can do for yourself and the people in your life and for your ability to know who God truly wants in your life is for you to become selfish and focused. Being selfish is not a bad thing. I don't know why it always has a negative connotation. It doesn't mean that you are hurting someone else. Sometimes in order for you to actually be able to see what your life is supposed to look like and who is really supposed to be in your life, you have to tell them, hey, I need to focus on myself for 6 months. I can't go out. I won't be able to do these things. I love you, but I gotta make this happen. And if those people ride out, if you have a friend in your life who you may not pick up the phone and call them for 4 or 5 months, but when you do, they're still there, that is a God-aligned relationship. But if you go focus mode, selfish mode, if you will, and the person gets mad, they don't want to support, they say you've changed, all of a sudden you've changed. These are key words and telltale signs that God is letting you know this person is here for a season and not a lifetime. But some of y'all are not letting the season end. The season has to change. If they're not supposed to stay for longer, stop holding on. The best way that you are going to see who is really down for, the long road or just the ride is who is going to support you when you decide you have to lock in and go all gas, no brakes. And who is also going to decide that they're going to go all gas, no brakes with you. But how can you see who those people are or what your life will look like when you do that if you don't give yourself the permission to do it? That's why I said between now, what's today? January. So let's see, January, February to March, March to April, April to May, May to June, June to July. So by like mid-July, that's a 6-month lock in, right? Give yourself the ability to see who you will become when you just focus on yourself. When you stay committed, when you stay locked in, right? I mean, I just want to shout, like, please, y'all, because we're only going to come here one time. I feel like I tell you guys this every week because the message always comes back to that. You're only going to come here one time. We're only going to be this cute right now. This is my 30-year-old self. In 5 years, I'm going to look different. In 10 years, I'm going to look different. Who you are and the energy you have and the ideas you have and the belief you have, it is at its peak right now. This is the time. This is the time. You're not always going to be able to look that good in that dress, honey. You're not always going to have the hair slayed and laid. You're not always going to be able to have the ideas come as quickly as they do right now because we're going to age. Things are going to change, right? So while you do look great in that dress, while your edges are laid, while you do have the ability to come up with ideas and communicate and try things and use the internet and have a computer and do all the things, while you have this, let's use it. Let's be give yourself the permission to shine. Give yourself the permission to be on point. Give yourself the permission to be like, yes, I am going after my goals and my dreams. And yes, I am going to achieve them. Yes. Yes. Give yourself the permission to say yes. A lot of people don't like Kanye, but I do. I watch the Yeezus documentary at least once a month. Why? Because Kanye is a little crazy, yes. But one thing you can never take away from Kanye West is how much He gives himself permission to be who he is and to be the best. I may not learn anything else from Kanye, but what I do gain from him is his just unapologetic decision to keep his foot on the gas and believe in himself without any regret. And that is why Kanye West is successful. You know how there's some people, when you watch documentaries of them, it clicks. You're like, oh yeah, this person was born to be successful. That's the way I feel about Kanye West. Because when I see how he always acted like that, how he was always about himself, how he always gave himself the permission to shine, I'm like, oh, I'm not surprised that he is who he is. Are y'all picking up what I'm putting down? Give yourself the permission to see you as your number one fan. Be your own number one fan. I want y'all to comment in the chat, I am number one. And I'm not trying to be corny, but I really need y'all to do this right now. I want you to comment, I am number one. I need you to comment that. Isn't that a song? What does it take to be number one or something? What does it take to be number one? Is that DMX? I don't know. I'm looking it up. What does it take to be number one? Because you are number one. That is a song. What does it take to be number one? Okay, listen. You are. And you know what? Beyond, right, we always think that there can't be more than one winner. But remember, when you're running your own race, you are number one in your own race. I'm number one in my life. You're number one in yours, et cetera, and et cetera. You have to see yourself as your own number one. Otherwise, you're always going to be putting yourself behind people who don't deserve to have that place. And I love my husband, I love my kids, and etc. But if I don't show up for me first, if I don't show up and see myself as, Ellie, you are amazing, you got this, put that Kanye energy on today, give that number one energy today. If I don't show up like that, then guess what? I'm not going to be able to perform as a wife. I'm not going to be able to perform as a mother. I'm not going to be able to pour into my family because I'm not seeing myself as that girl. You have to see yourself as that in order for it to show up in all other areas of your life, including your bank account. Including your bank account. Your account balance right now is in part a reflection of how you see yourself. And I mean that with love. Your account balance right now. Yes, there are certain circumstances in life, but for us in the United States who have access, right? I would never say that for someone who's living in Senegal because there's so much they can't control. But for us who have the internet on our phones and can make a digital product in 30 minutes or set up a drop shipping store right now, our account balance is in part a reflection of who we believe we are, of how we value ourselves, of what we think we're capable of. And we got to just own that and say, you know what? Okay, if I want to make more, I got to be more. If I want to have more, I got to be more. If I want to achieve more, I got to do more. That's it. If I want to make more money, I got to be more. If I want to have more things, I got to be more. And that means being more for you. That means being more for you. That means showing up with Kanye energy. And no, we don't have to cuss people out. You know, listen, I don't agree with that part of Kanye. But it does mean You know, what was his speech? They wanted to know what would happen if I didn't win. I guess we'll never know. I guess you'll never know. Like, that type of energy. I'm the best producer in the game. I'm going to make a clothing line. It's going to be the best. I guess we'll never know what would happen if I didn't win. I guess we'll never know. I mean, what the fuck? I guess we'll never know. I guess we'll never know. I guess we'll never know, y'all. Listen, okay? I really want y'all to feel that and believe that, okay? So at the end of the day, own your time. Do not let it own you. Let's get this routine together. All gas, no brakes. These next 6 months, y'all, I've only got about a strong 4.5 months or so until my due date, okay? So I'm going all gas, no brakes until I pop this baby. But y'all should be going all gas, no brakes at least for the next 6 months, okay? And after I pop this baby, I'm going back to all gas, no brakes, all right, after my maternity leave. But, right, we do win. Spoiler alert. So all gas, no brakes for this year. Y'all know that my 5-day challenge is coming up in like 3 weeks, okay? We are going all things financial freedom. You're going to learn how to sell $50,000 in digital products, make $50,000 in passive income, and secure $50,000 in funding. So this is really the challenge that is going to set you up for wealth and success throughout the year. And you guys are going to be getting my digital product done for you bundle, where I'm giving you a full digital product and digital marketing bundle that has 10 done for you ebooks, workbooks, just the whole 9 courses that you are going to be able to take, mold after your business, and sell completely, keeping 100% of the profits. So I've white labeled these, and you have full resale rights to these. So literally, when you come to the Financial Freedom Challenge, you're going to learn how to do it. And then I'm literally going to give you the package for you to go and start doing it yourself. So you don't have to use time figuring out how to create digital products. You don't have to use time figuring out what to sell. You don't have to use time figuring out how to do it. You're getting the whole thing done for you. And I'm giving you the full white label product. So you just take it and start selling and making money and financial freedom by the end of the year, y'all. That's exactly. And it's such a smart thing. So who better than to create y'all a product, a set of products that will sell and work than me. So I'm really excited about that. So I want you guys to DM me the word freedom to get your tickets to the challenge. You can also head straight to the link in my bio. And we have about, I think we're at like 120 left for the next 2 weeks. So you got to get in there quickly. Exactly, that's the goal. So DM me the word freedom. Me and my team will help you get your seat secured. And yeah, we start the challenge on the 18th of February, right in the middle of Black History Month. Love y'all. I hope you guys enjoyed our live today for More Money One Day. You can also catch the replay on YouTube, okay? Have a good night. All gas, no brakes.